Welcome back to episode 313 of the Bad Taste Video Podcast. We're fresh off VHS Fest. We're getting right into some more summertime horror. But first, let's hit that fucking intro. Apparently that was the most
gross.
apparently that was the most expensive scene in the movie.
I'm sure it was. Holy
They bought
fuck.
stock footage for that one. And yes, we are finally covering Mosquito from 1994, a movie that I did a live watch along before I guess Twitch realized what the fuck we were doing. And that was like in the middle of the day on like a Saturday, like a random Saturday. So we figured, hey, we'll cover it as like a full-on fucking thing. And here we are. Grizz is not, you're like sort of familiar with the movie, but not like as well
So I've
versed
only
as maybe
seen
I am.
the USA Network version of this movie, which is nowhere near as good as the original version. I can say
Yes.
that. I become a big fan of this movie after this watch, whereas I was like, oh, it's okay. But there's so much good shit that you don't see in the TV version, man.
Yes, the TV version is heavily edited, and as you know, they cut out most of like
Boobs, they cut
the real like gore scenes and stuff. Like you don't realize some of the shit.
That too. I guess that's gone.
It's quite graphic, right? Like when you watch the unedited version, like it's quite fucking graphic, and I that's why I love this movie. I've probably been watching this movie since I was like 8 years old. Possibly, like as soon as it went to fucking, maybe a little bit later than that, but like as soon as it went to the TV and syndication and all that shit, like I watched this all the time. I definitely rented it. What a fucking film, man. Mosquito. But before we dive into this, this movie that actually contains a legend of horror, surprisingly, VHS Fest 2024. What number are we on? What number is it?
8.
8? Damn, man.
Dude, it's crazy.
I did not go to VHS Fest 1. I was there for number 2, though. So you're an OG,
I was there for
right?
1. Yeah, I was there for 1. I vended the first one when there was like 6 vendors and maybe like 100 people at the most that was there.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a different animal now. It's transformed over the years. It's cool. It's definitely it's a wild transformation. I can tell you that. It's definitely turned into a monster of an event.
Yeah, it's definitely more I guess hectic and shit, as you could say, right? There's far more people. There's far more vendors than there used to be. Now they have
less tape focus, I feel, in the vending.
Yes,
which is weird.
I got to agree that I feel like the tapes are maybe like 50% of the stuff that's being sold, which it used to be like that was the like thing you went
80
for.
to 100% was like tapes being sold.
Yeah. Like you would go to
Yeah.
something like that. You would go to something like Severed or whatever. This is all East Coast shit. And unfortunately, Severed hasn't happened in years now. That was another one. People would come from all over to vend, and you were just there to fucking buy and trade tapes. Like that's what that event was. They played movies and stuff. Like it was cool like that. But you mostly went there for the tapes. And unfortunately, as things go to a wider audience, people realize, like, you know, oh, it's like I hear it's a good time, like, let's go. And people may not be collectors or whatnot. And then you have to cater to the larger audience if you want to grow. I mean, if you want to,
it was like a fucking flea market with movies, you know, is kind of what the vibe was, you know. So that's the vending wise, anyways, I guess. So.
One thing I will say, that despite it being at the most crowded it's like ever been, it was really quiet, right? Like I feel like it was really quiet, and I guess maybe people try to respect others, and back in the early ones it was a little bit more
that was
rowdy.
Not how it was at all. It was rowdy as fuck, man. So
but you know, it was a good time. We got to see everybody, we met a lot of cool people,
gave away so many, did like my bad taste video tub of shirts is down to like maybe 10 shirts out of over 100 shirts that I think I brought. So
yeah, you're going to be seeing those in all the Goodwills and shit soon.
Yeah, hopefully. That's my goal. That's how I know I made it, when a t-shirt of mine, I can find it one day in a thrift store.
But you know, it's a good time. As per usual, I always like to see Grizz because he does live quite far from me in the grand scheme of America. Not that far, but far enough where it's not something you're going to do every weekend or come to record the show every week. But it is good to see everybody, see the other podcast people from different shows.
Can we just like petition to like maybe move that event to the fucking end of summer?
Yo, can we do it in the fall?
Miserable.
Yeah, like that would be a great October thing, maybe. Like
to put that many people in the fucking open field with no shade in that kind of heat, dude. It was like The Walking Dead during the day. People literally just trying to survive the fucking the field, dude. It's wild. We had a pretty fucking dope fan setup that our boys hooked up. We had some generators, some fucking big shop fans, a misting fan.
Yeah,
we were we were making it happen.
Soaking
Soaked.
wet. Yeah.
You had the fucking worst seat, dude. You were like right in front of it.
Yeah, but it was so hot that like I didn't even realize it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And then I must be sweating my ass off.
Yeah, and then I realized like, oh shit, like I'm completely dry already. It's only been like 5 minutes. It was freaking hot. It's like a desert somehow. Just that like one patch. As soon as like I was pulling up and I saw the temperature was already like 90 something degrees, I was like
fuck me, dude.
Oh, my kidney stones are fucking screaming. Good thing I packed water. I was only there for Saturday, and I packed enough like fucking liquids to like I was going for the week. I was not gonna go. I was not gonna go dry while I was there.
You had your hot dog, so that's what's up.
I did.
You know, you got one in.
Unfortunately, they didn't have any corn dogs when I went to go eat. Yeah, that's disappointing. But next time, I will be there for the Fabio Frizzi event. That should be fucking pretty cool. Him playing the score to Zombie. But there were some cool vendors. You got the guys doing all like the re-releases on Blu-ray, DVD, VHS releases, tapes from the crypt, retro release video. Future video, right? JR Book.
We got to hang out with fucking Ross for fucking Saturn's Core, man. We're gonna get him on an episode. He's super down to come on. We're gonna promote one of his movies that he's gonna be putting out soon. So keep an ear out for that. That'll be a cool thing to do live with everybody.
Yep, that is a match made in hell.
Oh, man. Perfect match. Yeah, absolutely.
But it was great seeing everybody. It was great seeing Grizz. We'll see if he goes back next year. I'll probably do the same thing. I like going on the Saturday. It is very nice not having to break down camp on Sunday morning after feeling like total shit for 3 days. Like I'll
tell you what, man, if I go next year, I'm going to do the responsible thing as an adult now. I'm going to book a room somewhere nearby.
That is a good idea.
So that during the day when it's fucking hot and miserable out, I can go and chill in a fucking AC, fucking not have to worry about it, not have to be stuck in a fucking field. And I can come back when the time is right. Maybe I'll even take an Uber so I could still get fucking annihilated and then fucking get a ride home somewhere.
I could just drive you. I could just drive you home when I'm you
can just fucking drop me off at the fucking hotel room on my way home. Hey, perfect, dude.
Bruce, Bloody Knife Video, Sutter Kane Rules got a hotel room this year. He said it's a game changer. He said it can't go back.
Way to do it.
That's it.
Can't, I guarantee it.
Take a shower.
Yeah.
Like all sorts of stuff.
Dude,
go to the bathroom. Like that's like an awesome thing. Like if you're
Having
poop shy
fucking
or
clean
whatever.
meal, the fucking fryer stand fucking food, dude.
Hey,
That's what I'm up for,
I
man.
love it, man. I'll eat that
I
shit
know
all day.
you're a glutton, dude. I get it.
I
Dude.
can't help it. I don't know how I keep my I don't know how I keep my slim figure eating that shit.
Figure, yeah.
But let's get to our movie this week, Mosquito from 1994. Would you say this is like a creature feature type film? Obviously, I guess with giant mosquitoes attacking
Yeah, for sure.
multiple camps, state parks, park rangers, bank robbers, and everybody in between. Scientists that work for the Air Force. Look at that, man. A meteorologist. And he's like, not that type of meteorologist. But this one's an interesting one because.
What are you? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I just want to say that a lot of these movies, they don't start really showing you the monsters till the end and all that stuff. This movie, like right away, you start seeing shit.
I do like that. Yeah, they don't,
Right,
they don't
like-
fucking hold back, man.
They did a great job making these fucking giant mosquitoes. I appreciate the matte paintings. I appreciate the way that they did all like the overlays to get the things looking like they're flying at night. I love this movie. It's like a throwback to like a 50s, giant bug movie or whatever, only done in like an 80s fashion where it's like hyper violent, kind of goofy, this is a real special one for me. I gotta say, like, I'm gonna have no negative things to say about this tonight.
You know what really sold me on it was there were so many scenes where I was like, damn, this looks like a fucking Sam Raimi movie. Like this has like an Evil Dead, not like, oh, it's like reminds me of Evil Dead, but like the way it's shot, like the visual effects that are being used and shit, the camera work.
The way that they do
like,
the
man,
mosquito vision where it's flying through the woods
Yeah.
and all sorts of shit.
All those RV shots with like the outside of the RV looked very Evil Deadish and everything, man. It was really cool to see that. And then I find out that like this dude actually was like working on Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. Like these are projects that he was involved with. So, and he's like friends with Sam Raimi. So I'm like, this makes total sense that like there's this inspiration being drawn from one of his friends and shit that I can totally see in this film, which actually makes me a bigger fan because I love that stuff. So
Yeah.
now the question I have for you though, dude, Mosquito.
Uh-huh.
Do you like the name Mosquito?
I think it works. Well, what the fuck else are you
Because
gonna
there's
call
the
it?
movie Skeeter, right?
That was going to be this movie's original name, but then they realized somebody was already making that movie, and they couldn't use it.
I like this movie's second name of Blood Fever. That's a cool fucking name. I think if this movie's named Blood Fever, it does better than it does as Mosquito, to be honest with you.
Well, the guy does say it at one point. They got that blood fever.
You got the blood, yeah. You know? I think it's a better name because it's not like so. Mosquito immediately turns me off. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch a fucking mosquito horror movie. I'm not gonna fucking
It
watch
never
that,
bothered
right?
me.
Like,
I never thought that there was a problem with the name. It's direct. It's a monster movie about giant mosquitoes. The fucking cover
Yeah.
has a picture of a giant mosquito on it over the campground. It never really bothered me. Like it was never something that was like a turn off. It was just a fucking direct
Okay,
and to the
so
point.
what bothers me about it is because when I see the name like Mosquito and the cover that it has and everything, I'm writing it off because I'm not going to assume that there's going to be like one, a decent story, two, a fucking good gore, because like a lot of those like monster movies, they don't come with the fucking gore.
Yeah,
proper,
it's all off
you know?
screen. It's all that shit. It's very.
Or there's a
just-
lot of sci-fi bullshit and a lot of these like, especially from like, this time period on, and these kind of like monster movies, they become just like fucking sci-fi movies, like the Sci-Fi Channel shit.
Well-
Whereas this is actually a great practical effect movie. Like this is amazing fucking mosquito puppetry work and shit, dude. All of it is done so well.
Well, a little thing about that our man Matt Hunley, who did special effects on the Necrophiles, Back from Hell, Legion of the Night, he actually did special effects work on this movie.
And he's like not the original dude. I guess like the original guy like just was like, oh, I'll be right back, and like left one day and fucking never came back. And they were like, oh fuck, like we gotta get a fucking dude to do special effects.
Well, there's probably like a huge team probably and all that. Back when we covered the Necrophiles, I believe that, or no, Back from Hell, that's when he told us like, yeah, actually I did the mosquito in that movie. Like I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. But that's what also I think makes me like this movie so much, that there's a connection to the Necrophiles. There's a connection to like Legion of the Night and Back from Hell.
Evil Dead.
Dude, all that shit. You even have freaking well, first of all, we said that there's like a horror icon here. Gunnar Hansen plays Earl the bank robber. He plays He's one of 3 bank robbers that are caught up in the mix here, and we will show you later there is a callback to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But we have somebody that was in Legion of the Night, Ron Ashton from The Stooges. He was he was one of the scientists in that movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's here. Is the other guy in that?
The Stooge himself. I gotta tell you real quick. While that whole conversation was going on, I had the wildest Charlie horse in my hamstring muscle. That it took fucking everything in me not to get the fuck out of this chair and like run around my fucking room in pain, dude. That was intense.
I'm sorry, man. You gotta drink more water. You gotta hydrate.
Feeling it. I am for sure.
Tim Lovelace, who plays Ray, Megan's boyfriend in this, the female park ranger that is meant to go to this camp and all that shit. The guy that plays Ray, he plays one of the dudes in Legion of the Night also.
Dude, there's a bunch of fucking connections, man. Like
I
would never put these 2 movies together. It's so funny.
It's really kind of fucking strange that like all these things are connected in that sort of way. Yeah. And honestly, I didn't know any of that when I was younger watching this movie. I never saw Legion of the Night. I never saw, Back from Hell or the Necrophiles. I just loved me some giant fucking mosquito shit, dude.
I think that's the time period to fall in love with monster movies like this, is when you're a kid, man. Like, I think that's when you it's easier to accept, unless you were like, I feel like there's 2 people that can like really get into monster movies. It's the people that were around in like the 50s and 60s who like remember the original monster movies,
like the old school shit, yeah.
And then there's like kids who are like, yeah, I can buy this fucking monster, and then like their like love for that movie kind of develops from there and shit like that. Because like I never got into them when I was a kid, so for me I've always just been like, it's a fucking monster movie. This is gonna be corny, like this is gonna be kind of dumb and shit.
Here's my question, man. When you saw this scene, what went through your fucking brain? We have a close-up shot, or at least a panning shot, to a fallen UFO. And there's an alien arm sticking out of a porthole, some sort of thing here. And it's in the woods in a swamp. And you see a mosquito fly onto the arm and start sucking the alien blood out. Did you think to yourself, what about this, man? Like the stop, like the fucking Clash of the Titans
shit.
Yeah. Now, were you like... were you kind of like torn there, because it's like, fuck, there's like an alien thing, so this might be sci-fi, but they just showed me some fucking stop motion Clash of the Titans shit, so
yeah, I was torn in other ways too, because it's like, man, I could really almost get into this being more of an alien driven movie, because I'm going into it being like, oh, this is a fucking monster movie, this is a fucking up all night fucking TV movie kind of thing. So like, to have this alien aspect is more exciting to me. I'd rather watch something that has like aliens involved than to have something that's just like a typical giant lobsters from outer space or something, like one of those fucking type of things.
You need a little bit more to it, right?
Yeah.
That's
although I will say that I do wish that the aliens played more of a role in this movie. Like,
you want to know a little bit more why.
Yeah, or like to have them like, it'd be cool to see them being like, oh, because of that, they're now able to like control the fucking mosquitoes. Like there's some kind of power transfer or something, or like just something to have like the aliens more involved. But I do like the fact that like biting these aliens has created like a super race of mosquitoes that are now, it's basically like the fucking toxic crusader of fucking mosquitoes. They're just like giant and bloodthirsty. They got the blood fever, my friend.
So let's get into this. So we have Ray and his girlfriend Megan. Megan just got a job as a new like a forest ranger, I guess, something like that. So they're traveling up there, and they end up running into one of these giant mosquitoes. Pops a hole in their radiator, so they have to stay at this campground till they can get somebody to fix their car. Luckily for them, there is somebody else there that's headed in that direction, and that is what the hell's his name?
Parks?
Is that his name? Parks? Yeah.
Yeah. I think so,
Yeah. Parks is a meteorologist that is looking for a meteor, like a comet thing that came from the sky.
That's what he does. He's a meteorologist.
Yeah, he's not an astronomer or anything like that. He's not a geologist. He's a meteorologist that studies meteors. But anyway, he agrees. Hey,
very direct.
I'm going to that area anyway. I'll drive you up there.
Go for a ride.
And they're going to go for a ride. And this is when everything starts kicking off. Now, in an undisclosed near location on a lake, we get our first view of some fucking pretty gnarly mosquito action here, right? This is like one of the first really good gory scenes in the film.
Yeah, this is where it kicks off for sure.
So these guys are fishing, joking around, and they get attacked by two giant mosquitoes on their boat. The one gets pinned down, and the proboscis of the mosquito goes right through his fucking eyeball. And you see it like sucking the goo out of his eye. Yeah, it is painful looking. While the other friend swims to safety. That seems to be a general theme of this film. Just save yourself. But you can hear his screams in the background. But this scene is fucking nuts. You see the proboscis puncture the guy's fucking eyeball. You see the blood coming out. You see it sucking blood out. The design of that tube is just fucking awesome. It's like semi transparent. You could see the blood going through it.
What if you called it proboscis? Is that a better name?
Proboscis. That's what it is, man. It's proboscis.
No, I'm saying for the movie. Is that a better name than mosquito?
Proboscis as the.
Would that do it for you or no?
Nah, I feel like people would be like, "What is fucking proboscis? What is that proboscis?" Yeah,